Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the Shooting Massacres activity right here. As you see right here is I went ahead and drew right here is a picture right here of it's like a sketch right here of a school, and it could be like maybe example right here of close enough to Columbine high school, and as well as the Sandy Hook Elementary, and a few other schools, and we may have heard about is about the shootings and stuff, but just knowing about this right here was an example right here of a school, and then knowing about right here the parking lot right here, and just thinking about that the types of detail from back in 98 and 99 that that what we were reading about, and on the news about that, knowing the types of weapons that were found and used, and knowing about the whole discovery about the seniors, and then about for the school shootings that they it took them about maybe close to a year or something like that to collect a number of weapons, and then the army is cause a massacre at the school. And a lot of time I can remember whenever I was in school that that I would have been in the 7th grade, if I can remember. I was in the 7th grade, and around the time that it happened on April, I think it was on March or April, that I think it was March 20th of 99, and then they were announcing it and talking about a massacre at the movie theaters also. But it's for the Columbine school, that knowing that if you have right here, this right here is a kind of like similar, maybe not even close example of a sketch of the school, but if you have right here, it's the library and gymnasium at about right here, and then all with a few classrooms. And let's just say that knowing about I can remember whenever I was in school a lot of times that I can remember that that they say that that they game the violent games that they say that they don't want you to play, and knowing about that for anybody who has any type of hatred towards the school, that a lot of times knowing about what number of questions that to be asked and answered about, knowing about exactly about that massacre that happened nearly 12 years ago it was, and they're still thinking of answers, and knowing about why is it that caused these kids, these adults to be so violent. And some that may say that blame it on video games like Gears of War, or if it's Grand Theft Auto, and some that may say whenever they play the games, and then that kind of gives them an idea to where if there's a library, or if it's a federal building, or or school or somewhere, that they think on average that knowing about it would be kind of fun to do that, something like that, the type of stuff that more likely that we can do on a video game, and just thinking about it would be kind of neat to do something like that. But just knowing about that for the most part is that I can remember whenever I was in school that the teacher asked to say something about that, if there was somebody that got directions, that they find that they were talking about something, or bringing something to school that where it could be against this the policy or something like that, but it just just to make sure that the school's safe, and the building's safe as well, as long as the community, that knowing about the same stuff that more likely that we may hear about, say, on a video game, is that they say that that if they had gotten some target practice maybe on a video game, and then they talk about it would be kind of neat to do something like that, maybe at the school or something. But it's I don't know what all people are thinking about, but knowing about if a lot of it has to do with maybe anger, that if most of us have played video games like Gears of War, Wolfenstein, or if it's not like you say Duke Nukem, but it's anything to where involves to where that a game like Doom, to where that you charge and you go after the bad guys, that type of stuff. You go after the monsters, that type of stuff. But it's a lot of ways that some people that may say that that they look at these if it's going to be bombs, or if it's going to be any type of explosives, and then pipe bombs, or if it's grenades, or any type of guns that they may say that they may they may look at them like toys, to where that that the way that they are used, to where that you have fun with them because from how they sound often and how they explode, that type of stuff. And if anybody were wondering that, I might use fireworks as an example too, but I might use fireworks to celebrate. But it's like that, knowing about that, they may say it's a totally different story, like for the massacre though. But my teacher one time that told me that to mention something if you think something's wrong, something's going on, because they say that I don't know, at the time that you're probably wondering that even if I do say something, they may say that that I don't think they would believe me anyway or something, or that they would probably say that they're not going to take my word for it and just learn the hard way. But that's what my teacher told me a while back, that if you sense something's going on, maybe in the school or something, that is they say something, but to say something, and then as well as if you've seen something, any type of evidence about that anything going on, to where that somebody that didn't show up to school for a test or something, but or a strange car parked in the parking lot, whichever, but knowing about right here's a SWAT team and all at the car, and knowing about for whoever that does their job, and for making sure that they enter the school and try to save the students, that type of stuff. But let's just say on average though, is talk about the difference between between reality and then Hollywood, knowing about that we may say that that a lot of times that something that we may see in those movies, to where that a lot of the action that comes from besides the movie like RoboCop, to where that we look forward to the guns, and look forward to the explosives, and that type of action. And knowing about that some that may say that that they want to that they think it would be kind of neat to actually blow something up, and then as well as to target something. But in a lot of ways that there's a lot of things that more likely that they say that well, what's the reason to why maybe they have 3D films? Is that for the entertainment, or is to train people knowing about, oh wait a minute, no, this is about revenge. If somebody that don't treat you right, maybe at the school or at the office or wherever, then what's the best way of how to handle it? And some that may say that well, there's a number of ways of how to handle it for really, but one of those ways is that they may say that and go down and start a bunch of a commotion, and then take a gun, take some target practice. But really that for most part is that I don't really that the whole part for what we hear about on the news, it just seems like that that really that people have to be smarter than that, other than to be walking into the bank with a handgun and demanding money, whichever, and a lot of things that you hear about on the news. But other than that, it's knowing about really the ways of how to help, and the news media, knowing about if you see something wrong, at least do something. But other than that, like I say for the school, say for the shooting massacre, to say sketch, say kind of activity.